Okay. Good evening, everybody. How are you? Blue Sky, Luann, Missy, Luann, yeah, Luann. Hold on 1 second, guys. Uh, my tablet, I think, is lagging again. And it was fine a minute ago. Okay. Yeah. Bear with me for a minute, guys. It's lagging. Oh, it's lagging. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, real quick. There we go. Okay, can you all hear me okay? Hey guys, sorry about that. Can y'all hear me okay? I switched devices. Hey, Sunshine. Hey, Sally. Oh, I'm tongue twisted. Okay. Can y'all hear me okay? All right. Here, Logan, give that to Daddy. Luann, can you hear me okay? Okay. Oh, you can hear me. Okay, good. Okay. All right, awesome. Okay, I posted the link. I'm sorry guys. Let me grab some earbuds. How's everybody doing tonight? Patty G. Irvin, hey, how are you? Okay. And Caddy, Texas gal. Nice to see you. Always nice to see a new face. All right. Shay, hello. Miss Bendover. It's always nice to see new faces. If anybody wants to come up on panel, they're more than welcome to. Tag and Bama, how are you? I hope I didn't miss anybody. We've got 30 in the box. Shelly, how are you? So we're going to be doing, I guess, a reattempt, excuse me, at last night. We had a little bit of a misfit come in last night. So we're gonna try again and do a repeat of last night. So how does everybody feel about talking about, does anybody have anything to say about voices? Because I think everybody's covered her enough. that I think everybody feels the same about what was said. Oh, and Cam, hey, how are you? You missed last night. Yeah, you didn't really miss much. Um, there was some said, but we had only got an hour and 20 minutes, and we got P-bombed. So they showed their face and everything. It blows my mind, the immaturity level here on YouTube. I mean, it just, no matter who it is, what it is, everybody's acting like a 10-year-old. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Red Door Woman. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I didn't even post it. I couldn't post it anyways. I don't think I ended it, and I think what happened is when I ended it, StreamYard asked me if I wanted to post it on YouTube, and I was clicking end so many times trying to get it ended that I think I deleted it off of StreamYard because it wasn't even there to go on YouTube, but I wouldn't have done that anyway. Yeah, they showed their face, Nico. How are you? And Christina. Yeah, they showed their face. Somebody with the name Susan. Obviously, they're not Susan. But yeah, they showed their face. And she even said something. She even said something. And I saw her move her face away. I think you guys saw it with me. I saw her move, and I knew exactly as soon as she moved her face away from the camera, I knew it was coming. I've seen it happen enough times in other people's live streams. I instantly knew it. I couldn't stop it in time. Yeah, you didn't miss much, Miss Bendover. There's plenty of live streams that have that happen. I think it's just rude and crude. So, Miss Robin, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome to. I don't know why y'all just don't come up on my panel. So, I think most of us here feel the same way about the hypocrisy, the the things being said, and with all the posts and videos that I've made. Excuse me. I think most of us, as a whole, pretty much feel the same way, that YouTube is not the answer to our problems, nor is YouTube, YouTube doesn't even care about most people's problems. And just what is troubling one person, clearly is not troubling another. And YouTube, in no sense of the word, is responsible to help anybody. Hey, Patty, how are you?
Hey, Portland Archives. I'm good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. And is private chat not working? I knew that was you because of the avatar. But technically, I shouldn't have done that. I didn't see anything in private chat.
Well,
it's okay though. You're you. But what would you like to talk about? I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think maybe some boundaries should be set out loud.
Well, maybe I want to say something before you start. Since Miss Kelly Davenport, Mrs. Portland, called me out today, I want to bring this. I want to say something about this. She posted on her community wall just a little bit ago.
Like, oh, really? Okay.
Sure. Need to bring this to everyone's attention that I'm no longer listening to the creator that continues to call me and accuse me of being a liar. I don't know why she spell liar.
It's still clicking. Mom,
But anyway,
Hold on.
she doesn't know how to spell
You're
liar.
clicking. Okay, stop yelling. I'm on the live. Okay, I'm live. Sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, and it continues. I'm to the point where she can believe what in the hell she wants to believe, because of now I won't be giving her channel any of my time or attention. Just to let you know, I'm so sick and tired of the mental legal threats against me and my husband. It needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. Well, Kelly Davenport, they would stop if you would stop lying. That's what brought this all about. But if you choose, so it continues, but if she chooses to continue to badmouth me and slander me, I don't give a F what she thinks of me. If you're going to chase after me the rest of my life and mentally attack me, you're just digging yourself a hole that you won't be able to climb out of. Miss Portland, you said for weeks you've been running everywhere on YouTube saying that you've got all these clips of hate videos that Noodle has made about you, all these threats Noodle has made about you. If you have those, take them to court and show the judge, because there are none, Kelly. There are
no threats at all.
Like that. Okay,
so it can, they're not
so I'll continue. And if you chose to continue to try and make me miserable, I'm not going to give you satisfaction. So go ahead and keep bad mouthing me and hating me and accusing me of being a liar. So what? Believe in whatever she chooses to believe. At least I know my truth. Your truth is not your truth, Mrs. Portland. It's a lie. Any further attention? And I won't be giving you any further attention. So do me and my husband a favor and back the F off and stop dragging my husband into your misery. You must be a sad, miserable person. Do you treat your neighbors or your family like you have me? No, I'm sure she does not, Kelly Davenport, but it's obviously you do. You have chased me since high school. When is enough enough? You know, there's a great big many years that went by, Kelly Davenport, that you never even saw Noodle Mash. So stop your exaggerating. The truth is out there if anybody really cares to look at it. So I'm not going to let you ruin me. Noodle has never tried to ruin you. She is the one person, well, I have to give Robbie too, that have encouraged you, have wanted the best for you. So if you have any of this, that Noodle has ever said anything negative, hateful, please show the rest of us, because it's not there. So stop. I'm not going to let you ruin me. So let's get that straight. We got that straight. She's never tried to. So stop. I'm going to let you. Okay, I did that part right. So to this nasty, foul-mouthed, vile, hateful, nasty creator, back it up, sit the F down, and leave us the F alone. And that's another thing, Mrs. Portland. You have never heard a vile word come out of Noodle Mash's mouth. You have never heard a hateful word towards you come out of her mouth. Never. Stop lying. You can't produce one sentence that Noodle has ever said anything bad about you. She's asked you to stop lying. Now, if you want to call that foul mouthed and nasty, then so be it. But she has never body shamed you. She's never hated on you. She has only offered to help you and to be kind to you. And I don't understand why you can't see that, because what you're saying is a lie. Okay, so it continues. Go on in your life and find someone else to make miserable. I'm done with you. I'm done with you trying to ruin me. You're just pissed off because I chose to become friends with Hooker. Let's stop there for just a minute. Mrs. Portland, I don't know what you don't understand. Noodle walked away from Natasha's community. This is when Hooker got a hold of you and got the truce broke and all that other stuff. Noodle does not care who you're friends with. If you're friends with Hooker, I'm even happy for you. We don't care. This has nothing to do with who you're friends with. Okay, so it says, if you have an issue with me being friends with Hooker, that's my decision. And if you don't like it, I truly don't care. So move on and get the F over it. So there's that. Put that in your ass and smoke it. I think I did miss something up here because she said I'm old enough to make that decision. We know how old you are, Mrs. Portland. You're 55. Please, for the love of God, stop acting like you're 5. Okay? You make so many immature decisions. It's uncalled for. And I'll say another thing. But the moment you got that cease and desist order, which is legal, it can be done by anybody. It takes no lawyer. It takes nothing. That can be sent. It is a plea to stop the ridiculousness before it goes to court. You chose not to do that. Okay. You right away said your uncle's paying for everything. Noodle's not going to win. Blah blah blah. She can't even go to court. She doesn't have a car. And here you are putting up a $5,000 fund because you don't have transportation. You want meals. You want this. So many people have tried to tell you, Mrs. Portland, you can do court by Zoom. Do it by Zoom. You never have to leave your apartment. And for your uncle, Cecil Mills, he's not even your uncle. So just more lies. He's not your uncle. He did not offer to pay everything. Or if he did, you're lying to us. You're just scamming a PayPal. But you're being ridiculous. You haven't even been served. And you're trying to get people to feel sorry for you once again. So I just want to put that since we're on the topic. And then I'll add one more thing. The way you've been going after Mama Knows Best about her receiving things last Christmas for her children. Let me remind you of something, because I donated to you, to the community, because you needed things for your son. You couldn't afford anything. You know what? And then all of it was exposed for a son that hasn't even lived with you for 18 years. So stop calling out people about scamming. Mama Knows Best actually has children. You do not have anybody at home that was coming there on weekends even to visit or came for Christmas. So stop lying. You are the scammer of the entire YouTube. You went everywhere talking about this son, and you received quite a bit of money and gifts, Mrs. Portland. So just stop it. You say that you're this good person. You're not a vile person. You're not a mean person. You don't talk about children. Well, let me tell you what, it hasn't even been 48 hours, and you were calling out Mama Knows Best children as dumb, as it's her fault that they are challenged, being just as cruel as you could be. You have wished COVID on children. You've wished death on children. You've told mothers that have lost children that at least you have yours. They must have been bad parents. So just stop your lying, Mrs. Portland. We're all sick of it. All sick of it. Your truth, whatever is in your head, the voices are telling you in your head are crazy. Because I know you've been told you do not need this fund, this $5,000 fund, to go to civil court. And the only reason this court is in the picture right now is because you won't stop lying. You had a police officer come to your home the other day after you posted things on your community wall talking about possibly unaliving yourself. You admitted that to the police officer, but you also told the police officer that Noodle Mash had just gotten off of Alive, and she stated she is not going to let up on you until you are cold and dead in the ground. Mrs. Portland, that was never said. But every one of Noodle Mash's videos are still up, including that one. I suggest you go listen to it again, because those words were never said. And that's what's bringing us to this court situation, is your lies. I wouldn't want to be lied to like that. You told a law enforcement officer that someone is going after you, and said they're going to continue to go after you until you are dead and cold in the ground. You can't do that, Mrs. Portland. You can't do that on YouTube. You can't do that to law enforcement. You lied to another law enforcement officer. This is the second time. This is the second time you've done this. The noodle mash does not need to live under these kind of bullshit that you're doing. These are lies. They've been proven that you're a liar. That's LIAR. For all the times you write it on Facebook, learn to spell it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done.
That's everything that I wanted to say. I tend to beat around the bush, but it's learning to do a live stream and just still the newness of it. But thank you for saying all of that. And that's just what I want people to know. I give people the benefit of the doubt. And honest to God, I tend to believe everything everybody tells me. It's only when it doesn't make sense or I see proof otherwise that I don't. And she has said all this time that she's got this uncle and he's going to foot the bill. She has never indicated otherwise. So why are we asking for money when he's going to foot the damn bill?
Well, Cecil J. Mills, who she claims to be her uncle, does not know her. He doesn't know anything about her. There's just more lies.
Yes.
Yeah. So
100% of what comes out of her mouth is proven to be a lie by this week. Before this live, everything she has said has proven to be a lie.
And I'll say one more thing, Miss Portland. I am so glad you are back with Natasha Cooper. I'm really glad, because
Let her help her.
My God, you'd wear her skin if you could. You've had this infatuation with her forever, and you'll do fine in her community until you start lying again. Until you start lying and being vicious and wishing death on people and all the other vile things that you have done in Natasha's community in the past. I hope she's got you reined in and Natasha can put you on the straight and narrow. I really do. I sincerely do mean. I think it does bring you happiness to be there. Just stay there if you can. Try to behave yourself and stay there.
I mean, actually, in all nuttiness, she does seem to, I don't know that much, but the time that she's been there, she does seem to be happy as long as she's behaving herself.
She has. And Natasha, I will say this, Natasha and her community treated Mrs. Portland so well. So well.
Yeah, they just sent her a ton of makeup.
Well, I'm not talking about just this last time, but all the other times, the Christmas, even in the chat, she tries to take over the chats and the panels and things like that. And they were so nice. They walked on eggshells with Mrs. Portland over and over again. I'll give that to Natasha. She was sincerely nice to Mrs. Portland, and Mrs. Portland is the one that blew it each and every time. The last one was when Natasha's aunt passed away, and her aunt was like her mother, and Mrs. Portland got in there and made it. Nobody cares about me. My father died over a year ago, and nobody's giving me all this attention, and that blew up again. And she turned that and started wishing, she told Natasha, well, I'm glad your aunt passed away, just being vicious. And at the time, Natasha was deeply grieving for the loss of her aunt. And that was just horrible. But that's the kind of thing Mrs. Portland did. So for Natasha to, once again, I don't know if it's the third time or the fourth time, I've heard both, let her back in again, Mrs. Portland, I hope you watch what you're doing. And don't shit on Natasha again, because I saw you do it before.
I hope she doesn't.
I hope she doesn't either. I hope she doesn't either. I mean, because Natasha, I don't know how many people Natasha would do that, the things that she's done.
Exactly.
But she did them for Mrs. Portland. And each and every time, Mrs. Portland was the one to destroy
Screw it up.
Not Natasha. It was Mrs. Portland.
Right. And I know a lot of people like Natasha. I know a lot of people don't. As far as Miss Portland, yeah, I mean, like I said, she's happy there. She can actually treat her well and mean it. Some people can accept a quote unquote whatever kind of apology from her and take her back, but they're always walking on eggshells. And Natasha doesn't do that. And you gotta have respect. You gotta have respect for that.
Well, it's. I think she might. She might. If she wants to stay there bad enough, she will abide by Natasha's community and
Mhm.
in her rules.
Well, she
Um,
said that herself. She said she's got to stay on her P's and Q's. And I hope she does, but it just never fails. I'm
but
trying to be positive, but it never fails. She always fucks it up. She gets this stick up her ass. It's all about me. She's not getting enough attention because
yeah,
everybody's always coddled to her, giving her a free pass the whole 9 yards. And something invariably is going to happen, and it's going to be, you're not giving me enough attention. So hopefully Natasha can stay 2 steps ahead of it this time, maybe.
yeah.
If y'all hear any echo or feedback, let me know because when I move, I'm hearing something, and I don't know if y'all are hearing it. I've got earbuds,
But
wired
but
earbuds in.
but that basically is all I wanted to say. She's just going off about other people and their ungratefulness and their
Mhm.
vileness, and it's like she's
Mhm.
talking about herself. I mean, it's
Well, the
Mrs.
reason
Portland.
people,
Mrs. Portland, you're the one that was burning up things in the fireplace the other night.
Oh my
You're the one that was
God.
cutting up
Yes.
shirts. You're the one that destroyed
Yeah.
makeup and a handmade cup. Someone, oh my God, you're talking
Yeah.
about yourself. I've
Yeah.
never seen anybody so ungrateful. I mean, I just don't.
Go ahead, Robin. Go ahead, Robin.
Patty basically said it, but
Yeah.
she will not shut up long enough to step back and see that everything that is happening to her, she did to herself.
Everything.
Exactly. Exactly. And Sunshine, you're right. She can't keep a secret. She's very much like me. I'm an open book. If y'all ask me a question, I'll answer before I've even thought of the answer. I'm just so quick. I'm just so open. She's the same way. She's her own worst enemy in that respect. I am too, my own worst enemy. But stuff that doesn't need to be said. At least I stop to think about.
And
But
it's just been 4 minutes. I just checked. It's been 4 minutes that she's posting again. I'm still in need of this financial assistance.
oh
This
yeah.
$5,000 for a hotel, everything. So she's not listening, or someone's just,
Mm-mm,
if she's
mm-mm.
got any friends out there, for gosh sakes, she's going to get herself in trouble by trying to get a legal fund that's going to mess up with her state benefits. And she doesn't have to go to court. Mrs. Portland, you do not have to go to court. Court is done by Zoom now. You and Walter can sit in the apartment and get on your laptop and have court. So stop it.
I have sent 4, 5, or 6 community posts with her tagged in them. Acknowledge the Zoom court. I'm trying to get her to acknowledge that she knows about that Zoom court. I mean, if I have to email her, no, it's not my job. But if she's genuinely in distress and oh my God, I gotta blah blah blah, then wouldn't you welcome a stress-free alternative like Zoom court?
You
So
would think. Well,
that's why I'm trying to let her know.
well, you
But it's a
know,
money grab. It's a money
yeah.
grab.
Well, just
And I
17,
just
yeah,
go ahead,
just
go ahead.
17 minutes ago, she posted that, Noodle is jealous of her and she's pissed at her because she's not giving her any attention.
No one's
And
listening to her.
and listen to this. And she says she has no other content and foul mouth, foul mind, foul-minded video from Noodle Mash. She continues to spy on my channel and my page. This needs to stop. This is stalking, and this is going to be reported to the local authorities. For God's sakes, Mrs. Portland, leave the police alone. This is not stalking. Your
Wasting
community page is
resources.
public.
Yeah.
Nobody is stalking her.
No, and nobody
No,
is
Nobody.
and
bullying
nobody's
her.
threatening her. Nobody is threatening her. She just must say it enough times to believe herself.
Yeah.
No one is threatening her. No one is wishing ill will on her. All she has to do is shut the fuck up. That's all she has to do. She could leave YouTube now and end it all. It would all stop. Noodle is not an unreasonable person. I'm not speaking for her in any shape or form. But if I was Noodle, if she left YouTube, as long as she's gone, hey,
She
I'd
can't.
leave
She
it with
can't
that.
though. I mean,
But she
this.
can't. Exactly. Exactly.
Miss
I mean, I
Portland,
feel like
this
I'm
is not
beating a
high
fucking dead
school.
horse.
Mrs. Portland, this is not high school. There are not bullies. just stop the nonsense.
The
That
10-year-old
those
maturity
lies,
level has got to
those high
stop.
school lies have been proven, Mrs. Portland.
Yes.
Go,
Yes.
you know, you said you watched all these hate videos from Noodle, which zero hate videos exist. Okay, Mrs. Portland, zero. You see your name in her title, and you're assuming they're hate videos. They're actually very nice videos about you. Very nice.
Very nice. Yeah, I can't say enough how much respect I have for Noodle. You know, I tell everybody I don't take sides, I don't take partial, and I know I give extra attention to Noodle, but I have known Noodle from day one, and she's an inspiration to me. I mean, I want to be like Noodle because she, no matter what, through thick and thin, through hell and back, has always remained respectful and had never once insulted anybody, disrespected anybody, lost her temper. You know, who can do that? I'm beating a dead horse. I can't do it. I don't know anybody else who can do it. And for somebody to be able to do that through all of this, mad respect.
Well,
And
through this whole thing, Noodle Mash has shown real class.
exactly, exactly. And that person is an inspiration to me. You know, I didn't have, you know, a mother figure, a father figure to, you know, teach me the foundations of life younger. You know, it was only until my late teens, you know, that, you know, my dad was really in my life. And, you know, going through 14 foster homes, you know, I think I've done pretty good knowing right from wrong, you know, picking up things on my own. You know, so
Right.
when I see someone like Noodle, you know, they really stand out to me because somebody like that, you have to learn from them.
Right.
But
And
I mean, she's like a
you
mama to
know,
me.
Mrs. Portland is under the impression that Noodle is trying to shut her up, never talk about her again. Mrs. Portland, again, that's not true. You
Hmm.
can say, you can talk about Noodle all day long. You can tell the world how you don't like her. What you can't do is
Slander.
lie about her. You
Hmm.
cannot lie about her. That's all. That's all that has ever been asked of you, is
It's
do
not that
not
hard.
lie. I don't know why you lie about so many things that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Right, right.
And
And I mean, I know people think that I hate her and I'm out for her. I've said it before. I just want the newbies and the people that don't know to know about her because last Christmas she got that was at least $1,000 worth in gifts. She really got her scamming game going. Walter got an Xbox, and
mm-hmm,
I guess I'm so gun ho on it. And no, I am not attacking her son, Miss Portland. I am not attacking your son, but you lied and used your son to get an Xbox that went directly to Walter, and she has yet to deny it. Just like she hasn't denied the Purple Heart either. And any other time she would have been on that like white on rice, and she hasn't touched it. So that tells me that it's the truth. And
well, we, you know,
every
it was
claim I
all
make is
that.
backed up by a video. Anything I ever say, I will not say it unless it's backed up by a video. That's my rule to myself. And I didn't mean to cut you off, Patty. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it was all the Christmas stuff that did expose her,
Yeah.
because people were sending things directly to her. They were sending to
Hmm.
communities,
Hmm.
the PayPal's, the Cash Apps, and then come to find out it was all a sham. It was all a big scam.
Yeah.
Um, so
I,
Look at Miss Bendover's comment towards the bottom of the chat.
oh, yeah. How about that Victoria's Secret fashion show? Don't get me going. Please, don't get me going. You know, and oh man, don't. You're gonna get me rolling. That actually, believe it or not, give me a minute, y'all.
I'm back.
Now that's all I wanted to say. I think we talked to her blue in the face. She's not. I don't know what she's listening to, but you know, um,
Well,
you're
the
not
biggest issue I have with her is the hypocrisy of it all. I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
she will body shame people. You're fat or you're this or you're that. And I'm like, sweetie, go look in the mirror before you say anything. If you're going to go after people's looks, then be ready for somebody to come after your looks.
Yeah. And a lot of people have done that to Mrs. Portland. They have body shamed her, talked about her teeth, talked about her hair, talked about her, that she's overweight, etc. And Natasha really went after her for everything, from her son to everything, her looks. But I will tell you this, Mrs. Portland, Noodle has never done that to you. She's probably one of the very few people that have never ever done that. And so just stop with this Noodle making hate videos. Or Mrs. Portland, come up here on panel, show us. There's a lot of people that would love to see just one sentence where Noodle was hateful to you.
Right.
And see, Mrs. Portland, you don't understand what you're doing here. This has a trickle down effect to Noodle. You get some people that are going after Noodle because they don't like her. She left the community, so she's got some people that don't like her. So what? But she left there, and she left peacefully. She's never said anything, hateful against Natasha, body shamed or called her names or anything like this on lives or even in her private videos. But I lost my train of thought here. But here you got people going after Noodle for things that
she
did.
cannot
She never said. There was a live made just the other night about Noodle, and I've been in Noodle's community from the very beginning. She made her first video and was talking very nice about Mrs. Portland. And so I've been there a long time. I've never, and I feel like I do know her, how kind she is. But so Noodle has put out some, like the same like everybody else with Amazon, or she had a son that graduated and she put a few items on there. Nothing expensive or anything like that. But if anybody in the chat, and some of us that have gotten to know Noodle, we've gotten to know her family, etc. Actually, Noodle, I remember this. It was so touching because she was actually so shocked that people, did this. They sent gifts to her son.
Yeah.
And Noodle is always so gracious and so grateful for everything.
She never once complained or did anything that Hooker said she did.
Well,
if you're going to say something, at least say something you've heard or what
oh my gosh,
you're talking about. Quit talking out of your ass and lying.
That is so not Noodle Mash. I mean, Noodle
Hooker gets along with Portland because she's just as much a damn liar as she is.
Well, obviously, because those, and I wish if people are going to say these things like, "Oh, Noodle was so upset over not getting the party paid for," or whatever the heck it was. Show us. Come on. Why? How are you people just making these statements? Everything Noodle says, do you know she's had to show receipts for everything?
Yes.
She showed receipts where she lived. She came to YouTube in 2013, way longer before Mrs. Portland got here. Okay, she has never made a hate video. Never. To all you people that want to listen to Mrs. Portland about these hate videos, find one. Just find one video, one statement that Noodle has ever said this. She also says about these threats. She's always being threatened by Noodle.
Yeah.
There's not one receipt. There's not one shred of evidence. Nothing. And Mrs. Portland, if this does go to court, you're going to be asked Where's all this evidence? Now, you said you had it. So I hope, you went to court once before and did all this nonsense. Said you had a recording of death threats, writings of death threats. You had nothing, Mrs. Portland. Those were not your friends that were setting you up to go to court against Noodle Mash. You had nothing because nothing was done to you.
Exactly. It's an open and shut case, in my opinion.
Well, you can't be doing stuff like this. You can't walk into a courtroom and say, Noodle threatened me and not show proof. You can't have police come to your home and make allegations that Noodle's threatening you without proof, Mrs. Portland. That's against the law.
Yep.
You can't do these things.
No.
So I know you
She
want to
thinks she's
poo-poo off
immune.
the cease and desist order and all that kind of stuff because you won't listen to anybody. But that's kind of like my last, it's like not even like talking to a wall. Talking to a wall, you at least get an echo. I just don't even know how she can hear all this information and can't Google it herself or can't find one person that can give her the honest answer.
Right. Well, I know for a while there, when Lycan was taking her on, there were different opinions and things were said, what is she aware of and not aware of? Excuse me. And Brutally Lauren interviewed her and she's like, I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. I'm in full mode, confident capacity. So
Well, I agree. And I think she does until she gets in one of these binds.
Right.
So can't get out of it. And then
that's
it's going to
what
be
I'm coming
blamed.
to.
And then someone's going to be blamed. Oh, they were feeding me bad information. No, Mrs. Portland,
Right.
you're 55 years old. You've said it yourself. You can make your own decisions. Make them.
So the last thing that I think is really out there for some people, and I've actually sat there and had to think about it, I guess I second guess myself, is the self-awareness. People have said she has no self-awareness. And I've said for days, she's playing everybody. How could she not have self-awareness? She's refused because she's been coddled her whole entire life and not made to take responsibility. She just automatically, I don't even think she realizes she takes this non-self-awareness profile on and just doesn't acknowledge anything because that's what's always worked for her.
She has. This is a way of life for her, playing victim, being coddled, and this accountability.
Until she's made accountable, she's not going to change. And I really hope Noodle takes it to, if she stops, fine, great. But if she keeps on, I'll go to Oregon myself and take Noodle to court if I have to. I'll drive her because she's not going to stop until she's held accountable. We should all be self-aware and trying to improve ourselves and be more better people and be more likable.
I mean, Mrs. Portland is she is such a textbook manipulating narcissist. It's just like the book was written for her.
Yes.
And this FAS, bipolar, that's all crap. This is nothing disabled.
I call her an emotional drain or vampire, emotional vampire, because she sucks the life out of whoever she's around.
She has a very, very dark side to her. I mean, some of these videos, there was that one the other night, I swear I thought her head was going to start spinning the way she was screaming and talking like that.
Yeah, what triggered her so bad that night? She freaking went to shrilling. She was shrilling in her voice. That's what I call it. Shrieking. She was shrieking. My name's Portland because of the 35 years I've been here. Why did that trigger her so bad? I mean, it's that 10-year-old mentality again coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I've questioned whether she is an actual sociopath, all joking aside.
And,
what was that? Patty?
I don't know.
It sounded like her.
Yes, it did.
What the hell? I'm outside with my phone. Yeah, Ben again. Patty, were you switching screens or something?
No, I'm watching the chat.
That
That's
was crazy.
creepy. That okay, that's creepy, guys. I'm sorry. That's creepy. I had no apps open, nothing. I have StreamYard open under Chrome. And that clear as day was Portland. Then again, whatever that was. Am I dreaming this? Y'all heard
Look,
that?
look at Lady
Ugh,
Witch's post.
yeah,
An emotional parasite. That is better
yeah.
than emotional vampire.
Yes, yes. You know, the one thing that I've noticed with bipolar people is there is a um association to orgasms and talking about sex. For whatever reason, through the years in my work, I've seen it. It just, I don't know, it's just something that goes hand in hand. So I've always, ever since her bipolar was put into question, I never cared to, but never had any reason to put her bipolar into question until Lycan took his wrench from her. And she was able to control her behavior. And and again, 100% of what she says is lies. And never would I have ever thought that we would have had to question her medical diagnosis. I guess it kind of started when she had the claim to have the vajayjay cancer. But as far as bipolar, she did seem to appear bipolar, even though I didn't really see manias, but I did when she would get money, because the second she gets money, it's spent. I've seen her do it twice in chat where somebody donated money to her and she comes back, oh, I just ordered such and such from Amazon. And then, the going on the hate filled tirade there, I just didn't have any reason to doubt her. But when Lycan took his wrench and she was totally fine that night and the next day, I was like, whoa, wait a minute here. And I agree with you, Patty. I don't believe for a second that she's bipolar. I do believe she has a genuine narcissistic personality disorder. That's what they call
Yeah.
it. And I do think that she has very well possibly has borderline personality disorder, because your classic cardinal sign of the borderline is mocking someone you admire. And the lengths that she has gone to imitate Natasha, that is
It's
classic
creepy.
borderline all
You
day
know,
long.
she's on. I don't know why she's after like just. And Miss Portland, I am looking at your community post, because every time you lie about Noodle Nash, you're giving more evidence for the courts. So 4 minutes
Yes.
ago,
Yeah.
she said another nasty, vile, hateful hate video from Noodle Mash. I know Noodle has not made any videos in the last 4 minutes, so she's using me as her content because she has nothing better to do than stalk me.
Right.
So now I'm
Right.
going to be reporting her to my local police authorities. Again, if
Ugh.
this, I'm not going to continue to allow you to ruin me or threaten me and my husband legally. So just let you know that you don't scare me anymore. So, but she'll go to another place and say, she's so scared. Yet this
Yeah.
seems you needed, get this, you needed a good orgasm again, since you don't have nothing better to do than hate attack me all the time. Leave me the fuck alone and piss off, you nasty file. This is Mrs. Portland, who just a few
Yeah.
hours ago was making a video about how she's not vile or mean and she's staying away from all the drama. Here she is, just posting away,
What
Hmm.
she was,
about things that Noodle Mash is not doing.
Hmm.
what she,
You know,
Rachel
it's
makes a good point. Her husband has bipolar. Nobody acts like Portland does. In all my years of nursing, I have worked with, pretty much every diagnosis out there. And I don't think I have ever in person met, honest to God, I'm not being extra or dramatic. I cannot recall anybody that was anything like Mrs. Portland, normal or with any mental illness diagnoses. She is one of her own.
so why I don't understand why she would even make a post like this, knowing that Noodle's not out. Noodle just did not post anything right now. I just looked. She didn't post any. She did not make a video about Mrs. Portland in
She
the
does it
last four
unprovoked.
minutes.
Often
Um,
she's unprovoked. And October always, as far as why Walter is the one that cooks, I have said it in writing, but you know, as abuse is put it, I'm gonna put it as nicely as I can because I don't want to catch shit for this. I don't care about Portland, but I don't want people to misunderstand me because it is a fine line. So please try not to misunderstand me when I say this. But if you think about how vile and vicious Miss Portland is to all of us on YouTube, how do you think that she treats Walter? Do you think she treats him any better? Because I
Mm.
don't. I think they've been married 20 years and he's so set to routine, he automatically knows what to do when. But she sits on her ass and doesn't do a thing because of her COVID toe. He cooks, he cleans. Now she's got a bloody housekeeper in there every week. And
Yeah,
so
I think this is
home health
this
care.
is the norm. This is just all he knows,
Yeah, all he knows. I don't know Walter. I can't speak on him, but I think some of it he just doesn't know better. He's certainly not going to stand up to her. We know that. And he enables her. I always thought good of him. I always thought, he was on our side trying to help us. But no, he's as bad as she is.
Well, she keeps saying she wants this all to end. She just wants everything to be peaceful and walk away. And Mrs. Portland, what you're doing right now with these community posts and lying again about noodle mash, there's no way to stop it. It has to be stopped by a judge. I don't
Yeah.
understand what part of that you don't understand.
Yeah. It's at the point where we can't get her stopped. And YouTube, as far as reporting, they're a joke. I mean, we got how many, and she's not even supposed to be on here. She's been terminated twice. This, again, her own worst enemy. She's posted 2 different times that she was terminated. All her lies are proven by her own videos. And what I was talking about earlier, what I was trying to get at is with the Christmas and all, I don't want to see, it's not my job. I get it. But I just try as I can to not let anybody this year get scammed because she did get so much last year, and others that truly did genuinely deserve and should have got help didn't because of her. And she tried to
Right.
pull that crap on Mama Knows Best, and that's not what happened. That is not what happened.
No.
And I think when you start bashing people over Christmas presents and who's helping who, I mean, come on. I mean, you're just lower than swamp mud. You really are. The pettiness and immaturity, it's not working. She could try it all day long, but it's not going to work.
And
And
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
okay, all I wanted to say is Sherry, and I think her name's Lindsay Fleming and Miss Dior, whoever her current moms are that are supporting her. If they want to support her, fine. If they're listening or if there's any way to reach them, I did brazenly tag 2 of them in one of my posts. I just want to give them the option to see that people are proving her to be a liar. I just want to say to them, look, don't believe everything she says. And they're grown ass adults. If they want to believe her, that's their choice. But I just know, so like people like me, you believe people until you have reason to otherwise. And they're so new to her, they haven't hit that otherwise point.
But Cindy, I think that most people like them. Like we've all been former victims of Mrs. Portland.
Right,
I
right.
supported her. I supported her emotionally. I supported her financially.
Hmm.
Wasn't really was really thinking I could make help, make a difference, whatever. And it didn't take too long to realize that this is just a reoccurring type of thing. But I
Right.
wanted to say one more thing about these PayPal things. While
Sure.
Mrs. Portland is, making this PayPal about these legal funds, what she did, she has $92 in there. $90 was from it was her craft
Oh,
fund
yeah. Hmm.
that she is now calling the legal fund. So she's got a $2 donation.
Yeah.
Noodle put up a PayPal fund for $1,000,
Hmm.
and she made that goal within, I think it was 48 hours, and she
Yeah.
left her PayPal fund up there, which she
Hmm.
absolutely has the right to do, and I
Hmm.
encourage her to do it because many times that PayPal fund will go over. A civil suit, you don't have to take a lawyer to court for you. You don't have to do anything like that, but there are consultations, um, fees, there's paperwork, things like that Noodle, she hasn't just gone into this blindly. She's contacted the appropriate authorities that she needs to go to court. I'm sure it will well be over $1,000. If her community wants to keep giving to her, that's fine. She's probably going to need it, but she set it at $1,000, and that made it can sit there. She doesn't have to take it down, as some people are getting on Noodle even about that. Why leave a PayPal fund up there? I've seen PayPal funds for $1,000 reach $10,000. People want to donate.
Yeah,
they know what the cause is. Noodle Mash has been very transparent. I can guarantee you, Mrs. Portland, for having to sit at home in front of her laptop at a Zoom court meeting, does not need $5,000. She says she's got all these hate videos. She's got all these threats. She was so proud and flaunting them off just a week ago. Well, that's all you need, Mrs. Portland. Just submit that evidence then if you have it. But you don't. You don't, because it's another lie.
When she went live yesterday or the day before, she stated that she had taken down all her videos or deleted all of her videos.
She's got like 16 different channels.
13. 13. I mean, if that doesn't say it all right there, what does? I mean, really, 13
I think
channels?
there's more than that, because I was just scrolling
Oh,
through.
there's 13 plus the 10. Wait, there's 13 plus 30. Remember, she made 30 different craft channels. The ocean channel, the church channel, the
Hanging Out with
channel.
Walter channel. I know I've seen at least 15 or 20 today.
Oh, yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
So, yeah.
And Kim, you've heard them both talk crazy to each other. I'd love to hear about that. If you want to come on panel, come on. I haven't heard that. The thing with Noodle is she's not asking for $5,000.
No.
You know, Noodle is not even asking for $5,000. And I don't. Here again, I don't want to speak on what I don't know. But being a civil case, just a little bit of familiarity with it. Neither need lawyers. You know, Noodle shows her evidence. Portland shows hers. It's an open and shut case. And Portland has made it an open and shut case. She really has. And,
well, and there's the other thing. The buses do run from
yes, they do.
Beaverton, Oregon to Eugene, Oregon. Buses run, Mrs. Portland.
I posted that today.
And you've got this lawyer. You could ride with him. And walking is... Well, we've mapped it out. It was 38 hours. But I've seen you and Walter move just fine. You could probably jog that in no time. And the scooter would take 10 hours to get there with 4 charges. But just stop this shit. It's just
there
ridiculous.
are all kinds of buses. And thank you, Sammy. Sammy sent me the info to post. There are ample ways to get up and down that coast. Don't let it.
It's at 114 miles.
It's what did Noodle said it was an hour and 15 minutes?
43 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. And it sure as hell does not require any overnight stay, for God's sake. And she doesn't need to take her fucking scooter. Really, you can't walk 20 steps into a courthouse. The extra drama is killing me. It's killing me.
And all these meals, Mrs. Portland, you get food stamps twice a month. Pack a lunch like Yogi Bear.
Exactly. Take your little food stamp card. Go buy you a couple Lunchables and go put it in a brown sack with an ice cold water bottle. I freeze the kids' water bottles, and then they take them to school, and they're still cold by lunchtime.
Well, the whole thing is she doesn't even have to leave home, and she knows
exactly.
She's doing this as a damn money grab. Mrs. Portland, you're scamming again. We know you're listening, and you're trying to scam for $5,000. And I believe the only reason you got that $5,000 because you said it yourself was that's about what Robbie had to pay.
Yeah. That's that mimicking I see again.
And the bottom line is, Mrs. Portland, none of us did this. You did this 100% on your own by lying. None of us. So you should not be asking people to fund your lying.
Exactly.
We're not going to fund her bad behavior.
No. For God's sakes, we are going to fucking hold her accountable. We are going to hold her accountable as much as we possibly can. We are not going to feed into this toxicity. She keeps YouTube all riled up, and that's what she loves to do. And here again, we need to give her the attention she deserves, which is not. And I'm a hypocrite talking about it because this is my channel, but I am an awareness channel. I don't care who says I'm a hate channel or whatever else. All I do is show her video and I show another video behind it to prove she's lying. It's like she said her son was getting off the bus last year. He wasn't getting off of the bus. He can't walk by himself. She's in a video. She's sitting there on the
Oh,
couch
yeah.
or on the floor of the couch, and said that him and Walter were going for a walk, and she went on her little bitchy spew. Walter comes back, hangs his coat up. He's walking back and forth for 2 or 3 minutes in the background. I think he showed that video. I didn't
Yeah.
pesky about it originally. Where's the sun? There is no sun at
No.
all.
Peekaboo did that video. She did
Yeah,
it very well.
peekaboo, yeah.
And
And she had everybody convinced that he was there at the house. And I thought I knew her. But I didn't know her enough to start looking. It was only until Peaky started coming out, I started watching her videos that, whoa, wait a minute, this is way worse than what we realized.
hmm
We're losing you, Robin.
But the whole thing about this, and I'm not just, white knighting for Noodle Mash, because I feel this way about anyone out there that I care about, any creator that's going after like this. If I know they're being lied about, I'm going to speak out about it.
And she does have a housekeeper, True Crime Karen's. She made that known. She has a home health aide, and part of their job duty is housekeeping. Yeah, once a week, and she's there for 5 or 6 hours a day to you. Go ahead, Patty. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I was saying. And the trickle down effect of, like I said, this, we're talking about Noodle Mash right now, but if this was, anybody else, like I feel, and I hate to even bring this up, Robbie's, after he went through all his ordeal, it was settled. It's come back to light now, and Robbie's going to have his lawyer come on panel possibly next week and explain some things, because he's still it's all being opened up again right now, and he's still being harassed. And therefore, in that respect, I feel like I need to white knight for Robbie. He doesn't deserve this. This is someone trying to open up.
Can you tell us what's going on? Because I don't know.
Well,
I mean, anybody who has to deal with this, I feel bad. Anybody who's on the plaintiff side, it's not right. It's not.
No.
I'll white knight for Robbie all day long.
No,
I mean,
he had some kind of a harassment thing with another person on YouTube, and it was dropped, and Robbie ended up putting out about $5,000. I understand he showed receipts for everything.
Yeah,
but
he's
here,
big on that. He is.
I guess it's been about a year later now. The other person has decided to bring it out again in the open, saying that Robbie wasn't transparent, which he absolutely was. I've seen it. I've seen his receipts. I've seen, I've done some checking myself, but he's being harassed. He's being dragged for no reason for this. So
did he not take him to court because it has stopped with the cease letter, or what?
No, the other person, I'm sorry if I might be wrong. The other person decided not to go forward with it.
Okay.
So the bottom line of this is what I'm trying to say is it ended. It was over, and it never, and that should have been put to bed, and that's it. Robbie showed his community where he spent the money. His lawyer has been, more than gracious, giving him everything he needs to prove what he did. But here he is again being dragged for it. So, Robbie's holding his own. He's having his lawyer come in and say, this is, but even after his own lawyer will get up there with him, there's going to be people that are still going to not believe it and still want to drag him. And that's, the truth is the truth. Just like Noodle has done, the truth is the truth. There will always be those people that don't want to listen to it. Say that, that's still a lie. For whatever reason, it's just beyond me how they can can look at this. Noodle was here long before Mrs.
Oh
Portland.
God,
She
yeah,
did
let's
not.
make that clear. That was
Yes,
something I wanted to bring
she
up.
did.
Noodle
She
was
did
here
not chase.
years
And
before.
we've seen all the Facebook posts Mrs. Portland has made,
Mhm.
always saying that she loved Miss, like she called her Shannon. She loves you. Merry Christmas. They were actually friends. And then in the beginning, Mrs. Portland said she's the only one that didn't bully me in high school. She
Yeah,
was
I
nice
have
to
that
me.
video.
And
Next
then,
Friday, I will
yeah,
have that video. I will be posting that video next Friday for PSA. I will be
and
posting the video next Friday when I
it
get my
just shows how outrageous her lies are, and how she knows that brought her some sympathy. It did in Robbie's community at one time. It brought her some sympathy, and the lies just got further and further. They did never live next door to each other. They lived in a complex several buildings apart from one another. Mrs. Portland had problems with just about everybody there, um, posting things on her door and carrying on like a loon. But she
Oh
singled
yeah.
she singled out Noodle Mash. But no, they never lived next door to each other, and that's been proven. It's
Yes.
been proven. She didn't stalk her on Facebook. They were friends on Facebook, for God's sakes. We've seen it. But
We've seen it. Yeah.
Noodle still has the video up. Go look at it.
Mhm.
It's her. I think it's called Her Truth
This
or
is where I
whatever.
have to learn to share my screen. I'm
Go
gonna
look at
do
that
that
video.
next week. I'll
It's
post a link after the live. I'll post a link
it's
to it too.
it's all there.
All
So
there.
I just heard as recent as yesterday, she chased her down at YouTube. Well, Noodle was here like 5 years before. Mrs. Portland, on the other hand, has come like 16 or 2017, but she's been banned by YouTube, come back on under Walter's account. Who knows
Got
how
him
legal she,
terminated
back and
too.
forth. Yeah, terminated for some of the stuff she's done. But the truth is out there. Mrs. Portland, just stop the lying. Stop. That's all Noodle has asked. And for the supporters of Mrs. Portland, go look at the videos. You know that you are just backing up these lies to get at Noodle. And here's the thing, you're getting back at Noodle. That doesn't end there. You affect Noodle's family. This is such a trickle-down effect. Her family gets notified, gets hateful emails. Her community, her subs get called out and bashed. And, when you care about somebody, it affects everybody. So it's affecting Noodle primarily, but it's affecting a whole lot of people. And a whole lot of people that are not even in her community that just don't like the injustice. None of us like this injustice. Nobody likes to be lied about.
Right. Yeah, I can't get over the last day. Real quick, I forget who said it just now. I had it highlighted. Walter does not look well. Does not look well. Those are stress wrinkles. I think she just keeps him just wound up like an AJ clock all day long. He's constantly on high alert, looking for her to start talking about checking out. And how long ago was it? She started getting knives out of the kitchen. I mean, she just demands attention 24/7. I can't imagine what Walter's got to go through at home when no one's around.
Well, I can say one thing. Walter has a sense of humor. He married her,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah. He does. He is a funny guy. He's very goofy. I love that in him. He's very goofy. And that's a great thing to still have after 20 years. It really. There was that one time, there was a video, Natasha was talking to Portland on panel, and she says, "Hey, where's Walter?" So he comes behind the laptop and upside down, puts his head on the screen and scared the shit out of everybody.
I was in chat that night. I
Yeah,
remember
that was hilarious. He made me jump too. And the poor guy, I mean, look at his dental care. She's got so much, quote, wrong with her that he goes without. and that's a big thing that me and my husband go through is, with my medical problems, I try to keep them, to a minimum, and he knows what's wrong with me. I don't even, if I'm having a bad day, he knows it before I even say it, but he's so focused on me and making sure that I'm okay that he goes without, and I'm constantly trying to get him to go to the doctor and go to the dentist, but he works full time and he just keeps saying no, no, no. And he puts me and the kids first. It's awful. And it's hard. It's a hard thing to see and go through. He deserves just as much care as we do.
Mhm.
And men are just such sticklers about that.
When you started, I was reading, what Mrs. Portland had posted about she's done looking at anything a noodle mashes. She's not giving her um any more of her time, right? So
Hmm.
so then, like 20 minutes ago, she posts another nasty, vile, hateful video from Noodle Mash. Seems again she continues to use me as her content.
Does she
Um,
not
now,
understand?
And she's
so
playing
Shut your
stupid.
mouth
Yeah,
so she goes on
and
to say
stop.
she's reporting her to the police. Okay, so
yeah.
get this. 5 minutes ago,
I
okay,
mean,
I've gone in and reported Noodle Mash's channel due to constant harassment and cyberbullying,
no.
and now she's accusing me of bullying. Just listen to this, which is a bald-faced lie. So there's that. She continues to
Oh,
call me a
Lord.
liar. Noodle Mash, leave me the F alone and stay off my channel, or I will continue to report you. Fair
Oh,
warning.
my
I'm sick and
God.
tired of the constant threats. Also, if you think you're going to make your end game to where you're going to ruin me, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction. So you better back the F off, or I'll be reporting you now to my local police authorities
Oh.
for internet stalking. So knock it off, you nasty C. Leave me and my husband alone and stop making hate videos about me. Mrs. Portland, there are no hate videos about you.
Man.
Quit talking to those voices in your head or whatever you're doing. You're
Anybody who's
jealous.
got her phone number, let me have it because I will call her on panel. I will call her. And,
You're just so. Well, let me finish this. She
yeah,
said, "You're
I'm
so
sorry, Patty.
jealous of
I'm
me
sorry.
because I've chosen to be friends with Hooker and not you." Mrs. Portland. She doesn't care who you're friends with. I have
Exactly.
better things to do in my life than allow you to constantly chase me and attack me. So stay away from me and stop talking about me. Stop harassing me. Stop stalking me. This is your last warning, Noodle. Back off.
Oh, my
So,
God.
so
Jesus Christ.
Mrs. Portland, just knock this
Knock it
nonsense. Is
off. We
crazy. You're
know
making
you're
yourself look
watching.
really crazy right now.
Yeah. And you know what? She's doing this on purpose. I guarantee you. She's doing this on purpose to try to look like she's crazy so that, let's go get locked up again for 2 weeks. And then she's incompetent to stand trial, to go to
Well,
court.
Mrs.
Think
Portland,
about it.
this is Portland Archives channel. You are not listening to Noodle Mash, if that's
Yeah.
what you're confusing things with, because Noodle is
Wow.
not on panel. I don't even know if Noodle's in chat. But stop it. You are making
Like,
yourself look like a real loon right now. For
yeah.
God's sakes. Walter, come
And
get your
we
girl.
know you are not loon. You are totally competent. You are fully aware of what you're doing, what you're listening to. Knock it off. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. This
Well,
is not okay
she
at
posted
all.
she posted a video from Noodle Mash, the one that is lying contagious. And she said that is pertaining to her being threatened. I just I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Portland. I wish you'd come up on panel and tell us because there are no threats. Stop it.
She said if anybody had an issue with her, take it up with her. And I said it in a video. I said it a week or two ago. I said, yeah, I got an issue with you. Come up on panel. And I was more than willing to let Robbie, hold the panel. If anybody wants to offer up, that's fine. She can come up on my panel. If anybody wants to play referee, let's go. I'm calling you out, Miss Portland. I have issues with you. So come up on panel and let's hash them out.
And Mrs. Portland, who's ever telling you to do these strikes against Noodle Mash, is giving you some really bad advice. You
They're
keep
not even
trying
going
to
through.
strike. You keep trying to strike Noodle Mash, and those strikes will go against you, I believe, for all these false reportings.
Yeah, the false reports. Yeah, they'll get tired of it. They'll get tired of it. I don't understand why they haven't gotten her off of here
If
yet.
you
I really
have
don't.
a hate video made by Noodle, show the rest of the world because there is no one that has seen it. No one.
She needs to shut the fuck up and sit down. Damn, I'm done with it.
Don't
I
get Robin
tried,
mad now.
and I have
She's
tried.
pissed. Robin's pissed.
God's sakes, Mrs.
I
Portland,
know. It's
Noodle
all I
is
can
not
do to stay
threatening you.
calm. I know. It's like, I mean, we're fucking grown ass adults. You're not my mama. I'm 55 years old. Fucking act like you are 55 years old. At least act half your age.
We
I
are
mean, I
thankful.
can't believe we're sitting here having this conversation. Go ahead,
We're
Robin.
all thankful that we are not her mother.
Yes. God, I'd hate even just being a neighbor. Yeah, and her neighbor fell the other day and she went to rescue her. Oh, God. I
Well,
just
how did
don't.
she rescue somebody if she's got to have her scooter?
Exactly. COVID too. You can't walk. You're hobbling around. How you going to go help your neighbor? Because it's all bullshit. She's her own worst enemy.
Yeah, that hobbling was short lived, we saw.
Wasn't it?
Well, I do understand a little background on me. I have a plate and screws holding my hip together due to a horseback riding accident. And yes, if you do sit down for a long period of time and try to stand up, you're
Right,
going to
right.
hobble a couple of steps till everything
Hmm.
loosens up.
Hmm.
But that was, in my opinion, an over exaggerated limp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had my right hip replaced, and I'm only 46, and it was replaced close, I guess, 2 years now. I actually had it replaced twice, but when I noticed when I sit down, yeah, it definitely um tightens up, and it does hurt when I get up. But yeah, I mean, after not even a minute of walking, I'm fine again. But I definitely get stiff quick, so I get that, but that's gone in no time for anybody. You got to keep it moving. That's what I do. That's my norm is when the time my feet hit the floor in the morning, um, my norm has always been up until my hip got replaced. I've always been one of those from the time my feet hit the ground, I was go, go, go. And I would not stop until I literally dropped, until I was that exhausted. And ever since that hip surgery, I just can't get it back. And it drives me nuts. Drives me bonkers.
Well,
It's
Portland, you saw that big horse yesterday. I can't
Mhm.
ride him for long periods of time because how big around he is. And it's like trying to sit on a 55-gallon barrel. And it
Oh,
will make
okay.
my hip start screaming. And I'm throwing my leg over the saddle horn. I'm trying to twist. And,
Hmm.
you know, I understand physical
Oh,
limitations,
I
but
just saw
that
that
is not a crutch.
Noodle did jump in the chat for just a second to
Oh,
say
did
hi.
she? Hi, Noodle. Do you want to come up, Noodle?
No,
You're more than welcome to.
she was on her way to do something, but she popped in.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know whether
Okay.
she's in chat or
Okay.
not. So therefore, Mrs. Portland, she's not out making videos about you. See, she came over to
Exactly.
chat.
Exactly.
So,
What?
and that's
What's
just
it?
the thing. This constant. She's just on that community post, constant posting about these
Yeah.
things that aren't
She's just
happening.
attention seeking. It's all it is. So, what would be a good game plan? Because I'm sick and tired of giving her attention. I'll be
Well,
honest
the
with
only thing I had to say to her is, Miss Portland, you stop lying about Noodle Mash, and she'll quit telling the truth
you.
about
Hmm.
you. That's the only
Hmm.
thing that could ever end this. But you know what? I don't think you have it in you. I really don't think
I
you have it
don't
in you
either.
to
I don't
stop
either.
lying.
She
If you
doesn't have
listen,
self control.
yeah, yeah, impulse control. Definitely, she doesn't have any. you know, Miss Portland, if you listen, don't listen to nothing anybody has to say. And if Natasha hears this, I ask you, Natasha, out of the kindness of my heart, please ask Miss Portland to just shut up. All her problems will go away
Can't.
if she would stop. But yeah, she can. I don't want to be negative and say she can't. But,
She's in a good community right now. She's in a good
Mhm.
community that she wants to be in. Mrs.
Once again,
Portland, just concentrate on yourself. Behave over there at Natasha's. You know,
she'll be
you
fine.
you
She'll leave
have
everybody
this.
else alone. It's
You know, be,
when Natasha's not live and interacting, I think it's when she's going off on Noodle. She's
yeah.
constantly got to be doing something. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Okay. Imagine Mindset. Whoops. Says just a couple of things should be brought up to light. Miss P was one of the ones doing the stalking on her video tab in her YouTube channel. Yeah, she stalks everybody. I mean, when Robbie goes live, she's watching. When Lycan goes live, she's watching because the last couple of lives that Lycan did, she had something to say about it. That's why we know she's watching us right now. She can't help it. She had all of the normal channels from here, and the only other channel at the time was listed was Noodle Mash's YouTube channel listed under her real name and had all her info listed there. So you're saying she struck her to get her personal info? Because people do that. They will strike them. But any of the strikes that Portland does, they don't get processed because they're not a true strike.
TV, I agree with you. She's always wanted to be in Natasha's chat, or in her community.
Yeah.
If she would behave, it would work out good because, like I said, Natasha was very, very good to her. Her whole community was. Her whole
Yeah.
community walked on eggshells for Mrs. Portland, and she did not appreciate that even. They're still, with all those people in Natasha's chat, they still couldn't give her the attention that she wanted, and constantly demanded. And I mean, she demanded it, and she didn't even have the self-awareness of, I remember that night when Natasha was everybody was being quiet and respectful, and Mrs. Portland just could not stop and said, "But what about me? What about me?" It wasn't about you, Mrs. Portland. And then she just went on a full war attack against Natasha and her aunt, and it was horrible, because it was her death had just been very recent.
Yeah.
And she went on and on about her father, and then turned it even that, saying that her father was disrespected and all this. She was not. Nobody, Natasha, and nobody in your chat, in Natasha's chat, said anything disrespectful. As a matter of fact, I've never heard a disrespectful word by anybody about her father. It's just more substance here and in her head. But you know what? You're given another chance, Mrs. Portland, with Natasha. So,
and Red Door Woman, yeah, if she falls out with NC a third time, I said the Richter scales will go off. That will be World War III. I can assure you. You think you saw the worst of the worst last time? I can't imagine the next time, but it's coming. Because NC ain't gonna put up with the bullshit. She gets that fucking stick up her ass, and she won't let up. She did it with Sally. She said, she would listen to Sally and Sally would help her. And then she got mad at her, and as if Sally's responsible for her and her behavior, blaming, she couldn't make things better. That's not her job. Her job is to try and help you and guide you. You have to do the work yourself.
And what's really sad about this was all the work that Robbie did to finally draw a truce between Mrs. Portland and Noodle Mash, and it was a good truce where Noodle Mash and Mrs. Portland were communicating quite nicely, and she had an attempt by Hooker to get away, break it, and Mrs. Portland even stepped up. I was one of the proud moments I've had of her, and she said, "Nope, I'm not breaking the truce. I'm keeping my word." Blah blah blah, and I think it was like a week later or less. Hooker went to her again, and now Mrs. Portland, very clearly says, well, yes, we had a truce, but Hooker contacted me. She reached out to me. She emailed me because she had information she thinks I needed to have. Okay, well, that information, ended the truce, and that's all it was is to start this up again. That's the sad thing about it, because I really think that Mrs. Portland and Noodle, had they continued the truce, Mrs. Portland had started into some resin art, and Noodle offered to help her. And, by then it was a done deal. She didn't want anything to do with her, even though Noodle still tried to help her, guide her. Sorry, that was mine.
Okay. Go ahead. Oh, you muted it.
Oh, but anyways, I just remember what I was going to say. This information that Hooker had to get to Mrs. Portland was to tell her that Noodle and Portland Archives and Nicole were all in this chat one night, which turned out to be another lie. Mrs. Portland was fed. Noodle was not there in the chat. Portland Archives was not in the chat. And Nicole went in and said she was there. And, you know, she's a mod of Noodles. What the heck does that have to do with anything? But, and Nicole apologized, you know, to her later, but she didn't say anything rude to even have to apologize. But that's the information the false information that Hooker wanted to tell Mrs. Portland, that Noodle Mash was in that chat also, and she was not. Noodle was not even on YouTube that weekend. And that can be proven. But Mrs. Portland, you listened to it, you wanted to run with it. You ran with a lie. Nothing we can do about it, you know?
And she just pushes back harder. When she's caught in a lie, she just pushes back twice as hard.
Yeah.
That's what gets my goat.
Well, she you know, she broke that truce.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And started up on all her lies again, this high school bully stuff. You know, you're 55 years old. You're not a child being bullied in high school. The judge, I'm sure the judge isn't going to want to even hear this crap, but that's already been proven that was a lie too. It didn't happen. You know, we got proof of that. You said Noodle was the only one that did not do it, Mrs. Portland. You can't go into court and be telling the judge you heard stuff on YouTube and think this is going to count in a court of law. You can't lie to the police with lies without producing, excuse me, that video where Noodle said, "I'm going to go after you until you're dead in the ground." You have to produce that video, Mrs. Portland.
Yep.
You cannot just walk into court and say, "Well, this is what was said." No, Mrs. Portland, you told a law enforcement officer, a sworn law enforcement officer, you posted the video yourself.
Well, look at how she went and tried to get a restraining order with zero evidence. There are domestic violence victims that can't even get restraining orders with legitimate proof.
Well, because she said she had a recording of all that, which she didn't have.
Which she didn't.
And the judge told her, you can't come in, you can't walk into court with lies.
And even with evidence, it's so hard to get a restraining order. I don't know anything personally about it. I thought that I was going to have to get one time. Before I was married, I had an ex stalk me, and I lived on a lake, and he would drive around, and you could always tell it was his vehicle by his muffler. And he knew ways to do things without being caught, you know, called from different numbers. Is she live now?
I don't know.
Robin, that's you. I gotta learn how to share the screen in Streamer, because is she gone live already? Somebody has said she was going live in 30 minutes. I don't care, but yeah, she says that Cecil Mills is the judge, that's her uncle. Well, all he did was abort the grand jury on the OJ case. That was helping the defense. He was helping the OJ defense. But, you know, as far as we know, we've been told that her uncle is footing this bill. So, you know, she hasn't even said otherwise. So why are we asking for a PayPal?
Well, if the retainer is $5,000.
Poor thing.
Is she going to do another PayPal fund or whatever for travel expenses and all that? Because she's asking for $5,000 to cover everything. Well, $5,000 is for the attorney.
Right.
Now she'll be begging for, you know, hotel, food, transportation.
She's been doing all that. And she thinks that Noodle has to pay for all of it. She's
Well, I'm
made.
sorry to inform her. No.
No, don't.
Hold on, guys. Sorry.
It's fine, Mom.
What? All right. Okay. Um, she's already said several times that if you're going to take me to court, Noodle, you're going to pay my transportation and all this and the other, and then makes a point to say, and you better find a way to get my scooter there. You don't need a fucking scooter to walk 20 steps into the courthouse.
Yeah. Well, she's going to go live again tonight and add to Noodle's court case,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure, because
Yeah.
she's going to discuss all this stalking from Noodle Match. So,
Yeah. Well, and have you noticed she's been getting quite a number of views? She gets about over 500 views, and it's like Natasha said, she's a joke. People watch her because she's a joke. She said it when she was mad at her, but it's the truth. She's so unreasonable and unrealistic that people every day their jaws drop in total awe that somebody actually lives like this.
well,
And tries to make people think they think this way. Let's see how well that works out for her when she goes to court.
I'm sure this next live of September 24th, 2022 at 9 p.m. is just going to be more evidence for Noodle Match.
Oh yeah. She's her own worst enemy. I can't say it enough times.
So go
Let her
on with it, Mrs. Portland. We've all tried to tell you.
go
We've
for
tried
it.
to help
Yep.
you. And I don't know what's wrong with you.
I don't
ridiculous.
either. I really think she's trying to play the mental illness card at this point. I really do. She's trying to play the mental illness card to get out of a court hearing. That's all I can figure. I sure as hell don't want to suggest any good ideas, but she's not going to be able to no matter what. Unless she gets herself admitted to a facility on her own, self-admits herself, she's not going anywhere. And if she doesn't show up, they're going to rule in Noodle's favor first minute. So don't even think about not showing up.
Anywhere. To the
Exactly.
Room,
yeah.
so
Well, I'm sure that's crossed her mind. Oh, well, I just won't go. And Noodle will lose. No, that's not how it works. The worst thing she can do is not attend. That is the worst thing you could ever do in any court case.
Well, how's she not going to attend? She has to walk to her living room.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hobble on out there.
Hell, I'm sure Walter would be more than glad to carry her.
Good Lord.
I know it. So what's a good game plan to not enable this godforsaken behavior? Well, I mean, I don't want to be a hypocrite but I just try to point out her lies is what all I try to do. So I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to enable bad behavior.
Well, that's kind of what we're doing is just making people aware of it. I'm sure, even if it reached one person.
True.
There's nothing we can do to fix it. Mrs. Portland is just digging herself like can't wait to go to court and who knows what they're going to do. We can't fix it. YouTube can't fix it.
Right.
Only she can.
Well, my channel's already worth it because somebody wrote to me and he commented that he was when she was asking for that money to go see her son, that $2,000, he said that I saved him $500. He said he was gonna he was gonna give her $500. And I cried like a baby that night. I did. Honest to God, I did. I never felt so proud in my life. And honestly, I think she's asking for $5,000 because if you noticed several months back, she got on this Hawaii kick. She wants to go to Hawaii again. And I think she wanted to go when she asked for $2,000. And I think that she wants to go now, asking. Go ahead. Hold on 1 second. Eat it. Sorry, kids. So I think she's asking for this $5,000, knowing that she can attend court.
Wait, I can put it in the fridge.
Okay, thank you. So she can attend court and through Zoom and take the money that's been donated her and go to Hawaii. That's what I think.
No, I think the 5,000 thing came up in either because Robbie mentioned 5,000 or she did call
Right.
somewhere and that's kind of like a retainer fee to take this.
Well,
But
yeah, we know it's a retainer fee, but I mean, she's always got an ulterior motive, and that's my point. She can't save money for nothing. But I think she's trying like hell to get back to Hawaii personally. Personally, and not being hateful. I'm seeing it. What looks to be like that.
Well, I hate to inform her, but $5,000 in Hawaii is not going to go too damn far.
Mm-mm. Well, when I looked at plane tickets for Sally, round trip, I think 2 weeks from the date that I looked, or a month even, it was 2,500. So plane tickets are probably double what they normally are right now, with the price of gas and the economy and all. Yeah, the True Crime Karen says, I understand people just posting their PayPal and Cash App. I make a point to not say anything about my Cash App. I don't have PayPal. No reason to. I have a Cash App, but I make a point not to verbally ask for Cash App. If people like me and like my content, they'll donate. But I feel like just to say anything, just to ask, it's not right. I don't believe in that.
yeah.
And
October
go
always. I was just going to answer real quick. How did she go to Hawaii the first time? She had talked about her dad took her over there when she was a child, I guess.
I think she's been there since she was married.
Oh,
Those
no.
those pictures she posted were with Walter. I think she's even been a second time.
I know.
Lokamai would know.
I heard about her going with her dad.
Oh, as an adult, married? I thought you meant as a kid.
Yeah, when she was a kid. That's the only I didn't hear about being as an adult.
I think she did go as an adult with I don't know if it's with Walter or not, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I think I saw pictures of her as an adult in Hawaii. I think they were photos of Hawaii.
Oh, and another thing. When all those when she had her falling out with Lycan, she went after Tiff about being
Oh
a
yeah.
male, right? Well, if y'all didn't notice, last night she was on there about she was going after voices. So of course, what did she say? Is voices a male or a female? I thought, oh my gosh,
Here we go again.
here we go again. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the kind of stuff she does.
Yeah.
And
I mean, does she really think anybody's bothered by that? That's what
yeah, and actually, Archive Tiff was bothered by that.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but I mean, yeah, you're bothered by it, but you also recognize it for what it is. Somebody that just has nothing better to say or do.
But whoever sent her that information about Tiff and used Tiff's father's name, and I mean, Mrs. Portland just ran from panel to panel to whoever would listen.
Right.
That.
Well, it was given to her, and she ran with it. No proof. It was shown that whatever that charge thing was, you can email her and show her anything, and she runs with it. Yeah. If you want to get back at somebody, email her something about somebody, and she's going to blow it all over YouTube.
Well,
and that was the point that was being made. That was the point that was made, was that it was emailed and shown with no proof.
Right. Just like the mugshot. She goes, it doesn't look like Tiff, but here's the charges, and this is Tiff, and blah, blah, blah.
That's not cool. That's slander,
It's pretty bad.
Best, or at worst, that's slander.
So I just don't understand the people that are in her chat don't speak up and say anything. All they say is, oh, poor you.
You're right. That's what I was getting at earlier. How do they not know different better? I mean, her own words. She's saying horrible, hateful things in her live streams in front of everybody. And I'm like, this is who you want to support?
Well, you know,
People,
last December she bought like 1,000 subs and told everybody
yes,
she did.
watch time.
Do these? I don't know anything about that, so I might be talking way out of turn. I don't know. Do those subs talk or do they?
Yeah, you can buy. Apparently she bragged about it and left the link. I didn't even know she left the link. But yeah, there are websites where you can buy, I don't know, 200, 400, 500 subs. And it's actually, I thought, costly. When I looked at it, I think it was like $80 for 200 subs
Well,
or something. But for somebody who's struggling and, poor,
right.
she's blown quite a bit of money on watch time and subs. And she just finished buying subs again.
Well,
Look
that's
at
what
when
I'm
she said,
asking.
oh, my sub count's up because she bought subs.
Right, but that's what I'm asking. Do they talk? Do they?
I don't think so. I think it's all computerized. You pay for 200 subs and then I think the website tries to casually do it to where it's not just blaringly obvious to YouTube that you've bought subs, because obviously you're not going to get 200 subs in one night. I think it's like over a 48-hour period. I remember trying to figure that out, but it's done too quick, but I think over a 2-day time to where it's not glaringly obvious, even though it is. But yeah, you pay for subs and they show up, but they don't talk to you or anything. They're all bots, spam bots, or whatever.
I heard that they talk because
Well, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
when this first happened, there was people in there, or what they call them, the bot subs were talking kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could be real people. I don't know enough about the buying of subs. I just know she said she bought 1,000. This was like December, January, and yeah, there's still video of her talking about. And then she tried to get her watch hours up by putting that stupid radio station on. And I think I think she got struck down for that once.
Yes, she did. Yeah, because when I was a mod for that that scammer Tamari, crafting through the lies, the one that stole $20,000 from us all, she had started a live, and there was a dog grooming business or sitting business, and she had her window open, and that business had a microphone to play music outside, and the microphone actually picked up the music and shut her live down because of it.
Yeah,
Believe
Rachel
it or not.
just said, Rachel Townsend just said that she definitely bought some when she was a mod for her, because there was names in the chat she never heard of. I heard that too, Rachel, that there was, and I remember there were some like foreign names.
Oh, wow.
But I don't know. Do they interact, Rachel? Do you know? Did they interact with her? What, do you know anything about
Who
it?
knows about that? Hey, Auntie Side-Eye. Hey, Daphne. And I didn't get to say hi to Aquarian, Bulldog Mama, Andrea Mom, and Rachel. Yeah, Rachel, I saw that where Rachel said that she had some birthday presents for her and she was blocked and she wanted to be unblocked so she could get her address. Oh, I'll unblock you. Bam. All about the money. Guess who didn't get presents? Boom.
Yeah, I saw that. She said when Tip was a man, then she was a woman, then she was a man, then she was pregnant. She was
God.
I mean,
Yeah. And pulled a race card with a black man's baby. I mean, like that really matters. I mean, how vile can you get? I am just so sick of hearing the word vile in my head. just awful. All I know is I can't enable the bad behavior. I'm just bringing attention to it to just hopefully save some poor sap who doesn't know better. But, anybody who's supporting her right now has been with her enough to know better, so that's on them if they want to get duped by her. So I'm just determined to make sure. Go ahead.
I agree with Sunshine State. She heard that $5,000. She does have a tendency to really parrot people. She hears them make statements or comments, and
yeah, well, that's like the medical diagnosis is. She didn't have JJ cancer until Granny's watching had it. or spoke of it. I don't know anything about that. I know that there has been some health concerns for her, and I haven't kept up to see what's going on. But I know that she was speaking of that, and that was an ongoing issue for Granny. And it was right after that, Portland. Oh, I've had vagina cancer 7 years, and
Yeah,
then the
then
paperwork she showed proof she didn't have it.
no, it
I don't
showed
like
the
getting into that
it
stuff.
showed warts and stuff like that. It didn't. There was no
Yeah.
cancer.
Yeah, the one paper showed she had genital warts. I mean, she's her own worst enemy. I'm gonna make a song and sing it. CJ needs to do that for us. Country Joe, if you're listening, make us a song, babe. She created that.
Peggy K, I've been beating that all night about the word liar of all words she can't spell. She uses
Oh,
mostly
yeah, with an E.
Mrs. Portland. It's Liar. It's what you are. It's your middle name.
And
You
she's
should
a
know
smart
it.
woman.
Yeah.
Portland is a smart woman. She might have, had a little bit of problems in school, maybe not learning as fast as everybody else, but she sure as heck does not lack brains.
But over 50 years of playing this card and getting what you want because you play it.
Mhm.
I mean, she got herself 2 scooters. Walter didn't get one. She got 2. She got 2 for herself.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Walt, yeah. She said something was wrong with it. Well, they both. His is slower, she said. But no, Walter is quite able to run down the road.
Oh, yeah. He works part-time.
Yeah.
For God's sakes. And he went cleaning gutters. She went and spring cleaned the lady's house. Ain't a damn thing wrong with her.
Oh, we all saw her, and that video is still up.
Oh,
Her up
yeah.
and down that ladder and running across
Yeah.
the garage
Yeah,
floor.
and several people said that video was going straight to the Disability Fraud Department. They were hell-bent on getting that video to them.
Well, then she
I wish
forgot
they
and
would.
started. She did the hobble, and then she forgot 10 seconds later, didn't hobble back.
Exactly. Yep.
But come on, Miss Portland, we know
For a smart woman, she's pretty fucking stupid. I'll say it. For a smart woman, she's pretty fucking stupid because she can't even hold her own lies. She can't even hold her own. I'm
But,
sick of her.
of all the people that do drag her and do body shame and do all this stuff, Noodle Mash has not been one of them, Mrs. Portland.
No.
Noodle Mash has not been one of them. I'll send you a good PayPal tonight if you show me one hateful thing that she has said about you.
I'll say it right here. You show Miss Portland, you show me one threat, one hateful comment, anything that is negative on any subject from Noodle Mash, I promise you I'll pay you $100. I promise you right here, right now. You show me one negative thing that Noodle Mash said, and I promise you I'll send you $100 within the minute.
And I'll back it up, Miss Portland.
$200. There you go, Portland. You want $200? Show it.
You said you had all the clips, all the threats. Show us.
There you go.
And we promise we will do that PayPal.
Anybody want to add to it? Let's get it up to 500. $500, Portland. No joke, no lie. Honest God, on my children's head, I will send you $100. You show me proof where Noodle Mash has said one nasty thing, one threat, anything that you've claimed she said. You got $100 from me, 100 from Patty. Yeah, her fund's been sitting at 92.
Portland, you produced that video. You produced that video that Noodle Mash said in a live that she wanted you cold and dead in the ground, or she wasn't going to stop. And I will personally cover your PayPal legal fund in full. Show it.
Hey, good deal. There you go. Yeah, you can't turn that down. Can I make a community post to that effect, adding to mine? Because I'll put a community post up there. You show me proof, I'll send you $100.
You made that claim to the police officer, so it must be true. I just got to see the evidence.
There you go. There you go. There you go. Oh, watch it. You're going to get burned. All legal fees paid, Miss Portland. Show one piece of evidence, and you got your bills paid.
Now, I want to see I want to see the evidence I want to see for that being paid is Noodle Mash saying, I will not leave you alone until you are cold and dead in the ground. Show it, Mrs. Portland.
Are you using YouTube to live stream?
Yeah,
Show
show
what you
it.
told the police, and I'll cover those legal fees tonight.
Well, you can't beat that deal. What do you think about that, Robin?
I'm going to keep my opinion to myself.
Anybody want to come on panel? I wish y'all would come on panel. Y'all so shy. I'm up here nervous as can be because this is all still new to me. I can't do it without my partners in crime, Miss Patty and Miss Robin. Seriously, I can't do it without y'all. Thank you so much. And thank you to all my wonderful mods. Y'all are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, y'all gonna have to send me a Christmas list. I have to start Christmas shopping for everybody. Yeah, Auntie, okay, let me put the link up. I would love to have you up. Hold on.
I would too.
Yeah,
Auntie
we love
Side
Auntie.
Eye.
We love Auntie Side Eye.
I keep
Hang on.
missing her lives.
Well, yeah, I caught the very last 2 minutes of her live. I didn't even know it. I jumped in there. Okay,
No,
Auntie, there you go, love.
she's got some cool true crime stuff going on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes, she
I saw
does.
that. She does, and
Mhm.
I love true crime. I love telling stories, but I think what I might start doing for variation, because all right, hang on, let me bring her up. Hold on one second. All right, hey lady, how are you?
Hey, Rachel's gonna donate an extra 100.
Okay, there we go. So we got 300. Well, you've offered to pay the full 5K, but if she shows me any evidence of anything she's claiming, that's 350. So you stand, Miss Portland, you stand to gain $5,300. You can't beat it.
No,
And I would love
I
for
mean,
her to come on panel.
Miss Portland, it must be true. I mean, you stood there in front of a law enforcement officer and
Straight
had no
up.
problems making that claim. So
Yeah, you know what? That really bugs me. That really bugs me. Auntie, how are you? Can you hear us okay?
I'm
I
doing
saw that
good.
true crime.
Okay.
True
I'm
crime.
glad to be up here.
Yeah. So what you got for us tonight? Give us
I
some
don't-
goodies.
I don't have much really. I just thought I'd hop up here and join
Yeah.
in on this conversation.
I love your true crime. You
Oh,
are
well, thank
rocking
you.
it.
Thank
And
you.
you know what I was going to tell you is what I've heard, but I haven't verified it. I thought you would enjoy this little rare piece of info. Is okay. I was in high school when Waco happened. I remember that like yesterday. But in the Summer Wells case, it has been said that the survivors of Waco are now in the church that Dawn and Candace Wells were going to. I
The
don't know.
Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Yeah, that church in Tennessee is where they are. I don't know if it's true or not, so I thought I'd tell you about it. Maybe you could find something out about it.
I'll take a look into it, but I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so either. I would think they would all be split up.
Yeah, most of them, a lot of them are still here in Texas.
Really? What
And I know
rumors are there? If you don't mind
David
asking?
Thibodeau, he's up north somewhere, and Livingston Fagan, he's overseas.
Okay.
But the majority of them are still here in Texas.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. I didn't think there was any truth to it. It just seemed to fit well at the time.
Well, the Branch Davidians is a splinter group off of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, so I can kind of see them going to a Seventh-day Adventist church, but I don't think they're going to the one in Tennessee if they are.
Right. Yeah, because people tend to stay, like people stay where their parents are,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they don't move. Yeah.
They're a close-knit group. I belong to a Facebook group that has all the survivors in there.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, wow. Are they unbrain? I don't know the word. Please excuse my disrespect. Are they not brainwashed anymore? Have they seen what has happened? Do they know what happened to them? If you can tell.
Well, personally, I don't think they were ever brainwashed. they liked David because of his message, and he had a very powerful message to preach. I know Clive Doyle, who was like his right-hand man, he passed away a couple of months ago, and he was with David all the way up to the end.
Well, I say cult, and yeah, I probably should read up on the case because I'm very much older than 17 when it happened. But I say cult because he had got them to live there. But yeah, cults isolate you from your family and your friends. And I know that some family had tried to get them away from him and they wouldn't leave. So, yeah, let me read upon the case again before I say the word cult.
Yeah,
But
see, that's a little different than isolation, though. I mean,
now, what is oscillation?
isolation is where you are not allowed to have any contact with friends or family, and they were able to do what they want.
They were. Okay. Okay. Oh, well, I apologize. I'm wrong then. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm all for, I would love, there was that one true crime case, that lady, that young girl with Munchausen's, she had a
Mhm.
little blonde hair boy. What was his name? She killed him with sodium. She killed him with salt.
I can't recall the name of it. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, Patty Robin, you know the case I'm talking about. She had overdosed him on sodium, and she couldn't, and she'd done it in the hospital, and they figured out anytime she was around and whatnot. But she belonged to a community, and I think it was in Utah. The communities out there. What's the word? What's their religion?
Oh, FLDS.
LDS.
Yes, FLDS. Yes. And yeah, that's got a really bad rep because of that one fellow. And I've heard he still rules them from prison.
Warren Jeffs.
Yeah, Warren Jeffs. I've heard
He-
he's still
he-
in control.
He does, but that group has largely broken up now.
Okay.
A lot of them are still ride and die Warren Jeffs, but
Right.
a lot of them have left.
Yeah, I saw that for what that was from day one. Man, the abuse going on with those girls. Oh.
Well, actually, Texas is the one that busted him because he had a big compound out here in West Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the ones that busted all that up.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree, Red Door Woman. The word cult is misused. A lot of people disagree with me about the Branch Davidians, but I prefer to refer to them as a religious community, because I just don't see the whole cult factor in that. They lived strictly by the Bible. But as far as if you look at Jim Jones and people like that, they ruled by fear. And if, like on the Kool-Aid day, not most of those people didn't want to drink the Kool-Aid. It was either drink the Kool-Aid or get shot. These people stayed with David during that fire because they truly believed in him.
Right. Yeah, there was no reason for anyone to die at all.
No.
None at all. That was horrendous what happened. I think people are big to say on cults because it's easy to say that, but when you're so dedicated to someone or you believe in them so much, I think it's just trying to think of the word. It's just standard to say cult. If they're able to leave and talk to their family and stuff, no, it's not a cult. But when you have to give up all your money and you have to stay within the community or you're kicked out, yeah, that's a cult all day long. But as far as a religious community, I mean, I would love to be in a religious community, but I don't know if there's a happy middle ground. I'm sure there is, but I'm not enough of a religious person to seek one out or try to find one or anything like that. But, I think people should promote communities, non-religious communities even, in today's economy because of the people that are struggling. In World War II, families moved in together to save money and get by.
Right.
There's a book that I read, and I remember years ago I put it on Facebook, and I cannot find it, but it is a biography of a lady and how she lived through World War II and how they got by every day. And things of like when you cooked an egg, you're literally taking, the spoon and you are scraping every drop of that yolk out, and saying things like that. I mean, you just could not waste a drop of anything. And the levels, of what people had to do to survive. This book really gets that picture out there. Best book I've ever read in my entire life, and I cannot find it for nothing.
What's that book called again?
I don't even know what it's called. I'm trying to find it. It was an ebook. I had it as an ebook, and it was on a phone, and the phone broke. I still have the phone, but I have like 5 or 6 phones. I need to take them into the shop and get all the data pulled off of them. And when I do that, then I'll know the book. But every so often I look for it. I look for World War II autobiographies and, book documentaries or whatever.
Red Door has a good question. She says, I'm dedicated to my tribe and believe in my traditions. Am I part of a cult?
No, I wouldn't say that. And that's a good thing to bring up because, Native Americans have tribes. So that's not a cult. That's a very good question. A very good statement.
Well, Red Door also had a good point when she was up on my panel the other day, because she said cult is a word that's given to a community by the government in order to make them sound bad.
Okay.
Because if you call something a cult, the general public is automatically going to believe, like they're doing Warren Jeff things, or they're going to be a danger to society. So if the government labels that and the government goes in and murders them like they did to the people in Waco, then people are more accepting of that.
Right. Well, and I call Natasha Cooper's a cult leader. I call her a cult leader. But if you go into anyone else's group, she knows about it and guilt trips you and makes you feel bad about it.
Right. Well, people call
she wants your money.
People call Lycan a cult too.
No,
he's not. No, he doesn't care where we go.
Exactly. The only reason why I call Natasha a cult leader, because she does care where her people go.
She does.
And she does want your money. Yeah, she's made it more than clear. She is a cult leader. And I have said for months, and I know Doug has made videos of it. She is a cult leader, and she does use cult tactics. Mm-hmm. But Red Door, thank you very much for saying that. That really was a great statement to say, because that really clarifies things.
If you ever get a chance to talk to Red Door, she is fascinating. I could listen to her all day long.
Red Door, would you come on panel next time? Can we invite you on panel and have you talk about your tribe and your family and teach us things? I love Native Americans. I went out to Arizona. And I can't learn enough. And I mean, Native Americans, they're the beginning of our population. They're everything. I can't speak highly enough about Native Americans, but to see the culture and the traditions and all still continue today is nothing short of amazing, because of what the government has done to the Native Americans. And it's only just in the last, I don't know how many years, that didn't the government agree to start paying back the Native Americans if they were full-blooded. They actually get payment from the government for what they did ages and ages ago.
And they very well should.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I think you have to be full-blooded. So, yeah, Red Door, I'd love for you to come up and talk to us and teach us. That would be awesome. And I know that different people, a few tribe members have come on YouTube and begged creators to speak about the murders. There are lots of Native people being killed.
Yes.
They're being kidnapped, taken, killed, just like kids are being kidnapped. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and especially in Canada, and nobody's talking about it.
Yeah,
and they're asking. Go ahead,
Dora
sorry.
brought that up, and that's definitely something I want to start looking into.
Definitely.
Because I do think it needs to get out there because, as you said, I had never even heard of it until she told me about it.
I heard about it. I had watched Nita's World one time, watched her a time or two, and the one that I watched was a lady in her chat was asking her to cover it, and I don't remember her name. But Red Door, I would love to have you up and dedicate a live stream to you and teach us anything you want us to know, and culture, traditions, and your people that are being killed, because that definitely needs more attention.
Yeah, I feel honored. She's actually come up on my panel before, and I got to speak to her because she is a fascinating human being.
Awesome. Well,
so what is Mrs. Portland doing now?
Yeah, I just saw that she's on again. I don't know how to share my screen. And do you have to pay for StreamYard to be able to share your screen, right?
I don't know. I have the paid version of StreamYard. I always have, so I don't know what's available on the free one. I
pay for it the first month, and then I forgot that I didn't pay it when I went live again, and nothing's changed. But yeah, I think I do have to have the paid version.
But I don't think Natasha and them are doing her any favorites. I know you tried to talk to me about it whenever I was in with
I know. I was
hearing of it, but
I was trying as nice as I could be, because I feel like if you acknowledge someone else's feelings, then they will open up to you.
Right.
You can't just go to somebody and say so-and-so's, a jerk off and they're a bad person, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how to put it, but I just kill with kindness. That's all I can say. I'm the first one. If somebody points out that I'm wrong, or I've made a mistake, or I've been disrespectful, and somebody calls me out on it, I will be the first one to say, I'm sorry, you're right. I will acknowledge it and do better. I've always tried to be like that. All I ever try to do is be a better person. And I feel like crap, saying the things I've said about Portland tonight. But, I'm trying to do it the most respectful way that I can. And that's all I've ever tried to do. And yes, I have called her names. I have insulted her artwork, and that's not okay. That's not okay. I did let my anger get the best of me a couple, 3, 4 times. So I'm working on that.
Well, it's easy to do. I try to stay away from name calling on anybody, even if they're coming at me. But if they come at me bad enough, then I'll stoop to that level. But
right. Yeah. I mean, I never want to lower myself down to their level. And I tell you, Portland makes it hard. God knows she makes it hard.
She will just get right up under your skin.
Yeah. Did Patty and Robin drop down?
I guess they did. I didn't mean to run anybody off.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry. So she's saying she's stalking by Noodle Mash. Oh, for God's sakes. You know what? I hope Noodle takes her to court. She can't get there quick enough. At this point, when's the date? When is the date? She's clearly not going to stop.
Missing and murdered Indigenous women, 5,712 reports of missing American Indian women and Alaska Native women and girls.
And how long of a time period? How long, Red Door? If you know Red Door.
I would love to start digging into that. I think I'm going to.
Well, I'm at my 2-hour mark. I try to keep it around 2 hours, and I do I have that YouTube Premium, so I try to download her videos, but I try to screen record them at the time, because of the trolls that come in and they say things before they get blocked. That gets caught on screen record.
Yeah,
I see you in chat, Patty, but I'm sorry, I just didn't want you thinking you had to get down or anything like that. Y'all know that. Robin, y'all know.
I didn't mean to run y'all off.
I don't think you did. They were just being polite.
Auntie, I'm very humbled by your compliments. I'm not saying that just to blow smoke up your butt. I really, truly think you are a fascinating
It is
person.
Very fascinating.
And I don't say that to a lot of people at all.
Right. And, you can only improve yourself by educating yourself and learning about others. And the Native American people today are still put to the side. I'll be honest with you. I am so ignorant. Can you believe? Hold on one second. What?
Can you mute it for a second?
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're all fine. I'm not. Okay, Robin. Do you know the reason? Yeah, do you know the reason or who is behind taking them?
I think in Canada there was a school. Sorry, my son, he thought the TV was going to be too loud when he turned it on. That's why he's grabbing me. I didn't mean to sound so impatient. I tell him, do not interrupt my live. I just have so much trouble hearing as it is. And then I have to wear my earbuds to be able to hear. And it's hard because it's like I'm talking to a wall kind of thing, even though I can hear you. And then when I'm on my husband's phone, I have it on speakerphone, and that's even worse. And I just stay wound up because of my hearing all the time. Because my hearing aids, I have to take them to the shop. They're not working. And I can't put my earbuds in with them anyways. But in Canada, there was a school that the Native children went to, and they were abusing them, hurting them, and killing them.
Wow.
There's been, I think, 2 different areas where they have found unmarked graves. Hundreds and hundreds of children were buried, and nobody knew anything about it. Red Door should know about that. And yeah, they aren't reported. It's like they're trying to forget about them. They will not acknowledge Native Americans. It's awful. They are being discriminated against, just as worse could be. So yeah, we definitely need to dedicate a life to that.
Well, we just need to shed some light on it. I'm definitely gonna start digging into it. We're still doing Waco, and we're gonna do Ruby Ridge next, and that will be followed by Stephen Avery. So in between there, I'll start digging into that.
Yeah.
Angie, I think a lot of it is trafficking. That could be true, Red Door. That could very well be true, because that's a national problem that we have.
165 in the box, that's a low number for her. She normally has a high number because they all just are in total shock.
They just want to watch the crap show. That's
the
only reason she has all those subs.
Exactly. I wish that we could watch live streams and hide our count. Go into a chat without counting as a number.
Oh, I know.
I wish they would offer that option, but I guess that's stalking. Yeah, 150 are hate watchers.
Mm-hmm.
And how many
most of her subs are bots. She admitted to that earlier this year, and even gave a link to where you can go buy your own subs.
Right, yeah, I was talking about that a little bit ago. Yeah, she actually shared the link. And I'm sure people reported it to YouTube, and she's been terminated twice. And ever since that one CEO came in and took over YouTube, their reporting department has just gone to shit. I mean, they're a joke as far as reporting anything. But for almost 3 days, that comment of her calling me a child abuser stayed on her community wall. I don't know how many people reported it. I reported it. And for just shy of 3 days, that goddamn comment, she said I abused my children, and I mentally abused my children because she thought I was attacking her son.
Jeez.
I never called her a child abuser. If you want to start talking about children and abuse, Natasha said it all.
Oh, yeah. There's video evidence of that.
Yeah. If you want to get to the reality, and I'm not stooping to her level, but she herself said the state tried to terminate their rights, not once, not twice, 3 times. Oregon is a very political state, from what I'm told. They do not terminate rights, period. And the state tried 3 times with this woman. Now, what the hell does that tell you?
Yeah, that tells you something.
That child
there.
That child was within an inch of his life when she took him to the ER. And I don't care if she hears this or calls me out on it. And it's the goddamn truth. The state does not take your child for medical health reasons. The state takes your children because they're in danger under your care. And she can, yes, I said, she couldn't be within 10 feet of him. I was wrong there. I admit I'm wrong. But she's I think she actually said it herself. She cannot see her child unsupervised. For anybody who wants to know, her child will never be in her home with Walter and her alone. It is not allowed. And you cannot possibly convince me, after saying that the state has tried to take your child 3 times, that you're allowed to bring your child home for the weekend. Ain't gonna happen. Sorry. That's common sense right there.
I wouldn't leave a dog in her care, much less a human.
Right. Damn right. And, there was a story of that one child that was left in a swing and put in the spare room. They closed the door and they found him covered in maggots in the swing.
Oh,
and they acted like nothing. Oh, it was one of the most horrendous cases I ever read about. And, I don't doubt for a second that there was shaken baby syndrome, because look at how she acts on YouTube. Do you think she ever had patience for a crying, screaming child who has nutrition issues? I mean, you couldn't pick a worst case scenario.
No, because she goes off. I mean,
she has no impulse control, no patience.
No, she has impulse control. She had impulse control when she was with us. She proved that she has it.
Okay. Well, if you picture her and a screaming newborn, I don't doubt for a second that he has fetal alcohol syndrome, because you can match the dates up to the drinking. And yeah, I'm going to throw it out there. I will throw it out there. I believe that she gave him fetal alcohol syndrome, and I think there's a very good chance he has shaken baby syndrome. And that's why he has the problems he has. And a cord is not able to wrap around a neck 3 times, by the way. You can wrap the cord once. I think rarely I have heard about the cord being around the neck twice. You cannot wrap an umbilical cord around a baby's neck in utero 3 times. It's not possible. It's not long enough. Crickets.
Well, listen, love, my dinner just came. My husband just came back with our dinner for tonight, but I wanted to pop up and say hello.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I always love having you up.
Mod Wrench, I will return the favor.
Oh, sure.
My cat.
Okay, sure, no problem. You don't have to do that, but yeah, I'd love to mod. I love modding. So I'm so bad about time management. I'm trying to learn how to prioritize my time, because, YouTube will take your life over if you're not careful.
It will. That's why I mostly step away on the weekends.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So during the day, I'm trying to keep it to noon. I get up at 5 a.m. With the kids, and then I'll piddle around on YouTube till about noon, 10 o'clock noon, and then go to house chores and get dinner started and all that. So I'm trying that out. And it's hard because so many people message me all day long. I get messages, and I have Facebook Messenger, and I love it. I'm just such a big talker. So.
Yeah, and to be away from YouTube for one day is like 7 years. So.
Oh, yeah, because I followed the Summer Wells case for 13 months. I mean, I was going to solve that case. I'm telling you, just like everybody else. I mean, you couldn't get me off that phone for 13 months.
I hear you. Hey, you can get wrapped up in it. Maybe in November I work 50 hours more a week and trying to go hunting on travel. Yeah, Red Door, whenever you want to, I would love to partner up with you on that.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
That would be fantastic, because we do need to bring awareness to that.
And never had a stroke.
But anyhow, I got to get off. Okay. My husband's looking at me with our food.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, have a great night, love. Thanks for coming out.
Nice talking to you.
You too. Bye. Bye. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We're at 2 hours and 18 minutes, 43 in the box. But I have a dedicated 43, shall I say. So thank you to all my mods, as always. And thank you, everybody, for keeping it courteous and respectful in chat. I saw some really good talk in there tonight. So I'm proud of my subscribers, and I love every one of you. And Miss Robin and Miss Patty, thank you for coming up. And anybody who has any ideas, suggestions, any issues, let me know. You can find me on Facebook under the Portland Archives, or you can comment under any of the videos. Anything you ever want to bring up, I'm always available. So if anybody has any suggestions for another live, I would like to do probably 2 a week. So I just gotta stop and learn how to use StreamYard, because I think we would have a much better time if I can show videos and stuff like that. Like today, I would have loved to have streamed Portland. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and go see what train wreck's going on over there. So I make a point not to say it, but I do have Cash App. If I'll pull up Portland. If you like my content and you like what you hear, then feel free to tip me at the Portland Archives Cash App. All right, y'all have a good night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.